and this is Lateral Thought Crimes. This is a semi-prime Shadowrun for Shadownet. Tonight our dramatis personae include Lettuce. Can you please give a quick physical description of your character and your role upon this team?
Alright, well, in metahuman form, he happens to be a weirdly middle-aged looking elf. Whitish hair, seems like he might dye it, but the actual reason is he's a polar bear and they don't have actual pigmentation in their hair, which is a little animal tell I decided to work in there. He's happens to be a bear shifter, by the way. And he's also extremely well educated in business. He actually went to technical school for it. And thus he is the business bear. He's also a mage. So that's secondary to him being a consummate if I can actually speak properly, consummate businessman / bear.
Brilliant. Yeah. Our next runner is Salia. Can you please give a quick physical description and your role upon this team tonight?
Okay, so Celia is a fairly average-looking human with blue hair. He's average height, average weight, and he's the face of the team, but he's also a bit of a combat character.
Good to know. Codex, can you please give a physical description of yourself and your role within this team?
Codex is a 26-year-old human, pretty average, brown hair. He looks a little younger than he actually is. He wears glasses, much like the ones in the picture there, so they're pretty dark, and he will be the Matrix support and decker for this run.
Right. And Maguka, can you please give a physical description of yourself and your role upon this team?
Alright, so she's like an elf. She's like a teenager. She has black hair that fades like pinkish red. She's currently wearing an executive suit. And I guess her role, and she's like Chinese ethnically, and her role would be, I guess, the physical muscle, I guess, as a blade adept.
Right. So, I'm going to reiterate a couple of things because I have new players to my table, also for the stream. So, this game is going to be very narrative heavy. So, instead of worrying about mechanics or mechanical solutions to problems, think about what you actually want to get done, what narrative direction you want to go in. Second, I really do suggest you do your legwork. This is a semi-prime. Walking in blind will hurt. We have a gore and squick rule. Anything you feel uncomfortable with, just call gore and squick and we'll gloss over it. And finally, assumed competence is not assumed. You need to state narrative intent. The example I've given is you walk into the room versus you walk into the room looking for points of interest or danger. You need to give context to what you're doing if you want to get any assumed competence leeway. With that, we can get into the game. Each of you was browsing Jackpoint, and you came across a rather brief job posting put online by a brand new user, as an account age 2 hours. I have an open-ended contract. The premise is simple. A team, 100,000 new yen, enforcing a Big Ten corporation to abandon an extraterritorial space. I suspect that full magical competence will be needed, along with network intrusions and social infiltration. Depending on approach, physical problem solving could arise. Discussion of the detail is unlikely to be fruitful, but I understand people like you do require it. Successful applicants will be given the location and time. Now, each of you, gets you fixed to apply for this in some manner. So, Lettuce, how do you respond to such a cryptic job posting?
Sounds fantastic. I've done similar things before. And of course, he's replying to his sister, Snowball. Well, at least that's her nickname that he gives her, that sort of thing. He's actually used a more Russian term for it because he happened to have been born into a family that had contact with Russian, Alaskan, that whole bit. Either way, reminds him a good deal of his previous work. Let's say acquiring other smaller corps to push things into Aztechnology oil. and such like that.
Brilliant. How does Celia react to such a, such a job posting?
Celia will find it intriguing and, in fact, tell his fixers so. And they'll say, well, I'll need more information on this, but yeah, I'll want to do it. I'll try. Don't know if I'll survive, depending on how dangerous it'll be.
Codex, how do you feel about such a job posting? Codex, you are unintelligibly quiet.
Testing, testing.
Yes. Now, how do you feel about such a job posting?
Codex will see the number 100,000 Nuyen and almost immediately apply. He sees networks infiltration, and he is almost perfectly confident that he can handle whatever it's going to throw at him.
Hubris. Miguka, how do you respond to such a job posting?
Well, Maguga is probably mostly just really nervous, I guess, because it's like she's still new to the scene, and this would probably be one of the first big ones she's done. But also, I mean, she's relatively confident she can take care of the physical threats.
Well, that's good to know. So, you each have your fixers respond back to the Johnson, the brand new account, opened literally to post this job. Your fixers talk back and forth with the Johnson, as fixers do, and you get a meet location. Tuesday at noon in Edgewater Park. This is the middle of downtown. Well, not quite. This is the middle of the downtown district. The central business district is a little way to the southwest, about 3 kilometers, but it's still pretty much there. The meet is for noon on Tuesday. You were given explicit instructions to come to the pagoda and not to be early. In fact, if you were a minute or two beyond the meet time, that would actually be even better. Do not attempt to arrive before the Mr. Johnson. You are informed. Still, let's talk about each runner. So, Miguka, you live in Renton, aren't you? So how are you getting to downtown?
I'm probably just going to drive all the way there.
Brilliant. What kind of car do you have, and what metatype are you?
Metatype Elf car is a Jackrabbit, and it has, I believe, it's called spoofing chips and morphing license plate.
Cool. Can you give... Is a Remington suppressor a pistol?
Machine pistol.
Right. Can you please give me a threshold 3 etiquette check to move around freely downtown?
All right.
While you roll that out. Lettuce. What lifestyle do you have?
Medium?
Good to hear.
He's trying to change that as soon as possible so he can mess with his trust fund, but yes, just medium for now.
Well, so, Miguka, as you're trying to drive to downtown, you notice that there seems to be a flurry of notice at your car. It's not official police notice even. It's more like a couple of casual people just watch you for a little too long. Each of them goes back to doing whatever they were doing completely normally. But the trail of people watching you just follows you and it puts you on edge. How do you deal with this?
Right. By the way, was there any time to do legwork before this? Like have fixers do legwork?
You can have your fixers do legwork on the Johnson, but it's a brand new account. Nobody's done any work with them. And as soon as, it's communicated these details back to you about the meat location, the account is actually deleted and its matrix presence scrubbed.
Ah, okay. So in this case, I'll just like be a little more careful, but just keep on going, I guess.
Yes. But still, how are you going to deal with this trail of people watching you and taking, significant interest in you?
Right, well, I'm gonna keep moving and seeing if they continue to follow me. Like, if there's like a ton of people that just keep looking at me for some reason, like, it's gonna be really
Not
weird.
not a ton, but sort of. There's just a consistent odd person every block who just watches you intently.
Huh, okay. Is there some kind of service to like send weapons back to like your place or something?
Not from in downtown, unless you have a contact.
Okay. Well then, I guess I'll just like take out my pistol and just like put it on the seat next. Well, not on the seat next to me. No, that's dumb. I'll just keep going. I guess I don't have any choice. I'll just keep trying to take like evasive actions and see if I could get on a road where people aren't looking at me.
Good. Would you like to throw a piloting groundcraft for me then?
Sounds good.
Yeah, so Lettuce, you live in Outremer, don't you?
Yes.
Yes, isn't that Council Island, or can you just ping on the map
Roughly.
where it
It's like
is?
how do you remember? It's one of these sort of like peninsulas, like islands, outlets, etc. That's outside of Seattle.
Oh,
Like
so it's out.
right outside of Seattle. Like you see the Cascade Crows, Salish Land, some other like one of these areas out here. But I'm trying to figure out where exactly Outremer is.
Yes, well, the real problem is that you've had to cross a fairly serious sin scan to enter downtown,
And
and the Knight Errant officer has pulled you aside. Excuse me, sir. There are a couple of anomalies, and we'd just like to.
I'm using my national SIN to travel into
Ah,
downtown. I'm gonna switch over after when to do that though.
brilliant. Sorry, I didn't see the national sin, but you have
Mm.
right. You've passed that. Then
I put 3 common nationals just so you know.
yeah, cool. Could you also just throw me a threshold 3 etiquette check then?
All right, absolutely. I will do this because I am vaguely facey.
Good to hear.
Corporate will not apply, I assume, right?
No, no.
Okay. I need to really get more street things on my or street or law enforcement for my things. Either way. Okay, this could be.
Yeah, so while that's rolled out, number negative. What kind of lifestyle do you have?
Codex has a medium lifestyle in Bellevue.
Cool. And yeah, what meta type are you?
He is a human.
Brilliant. Could you just throw a threshold 2 etiquette check for me? So just show if you get downtown without attracting any undue attention.
Most certainly.
Well, Meguka, you think you're pretty sure you lose your tail. That's okay. They were just people taking weird looks at you, driving around a bit. You're okay. Lettuce. Like, the Knight Errant officer who put you over is like, why is
I'm
because you,
not going to enter that just out of pride.
yeah. But he's like, oh, and as you drive away, you see a drone follow you for a couple of 100 meters before it's obviously retasked.
Okay.
Yeah. Codex, you managed to easily enter downtown without attracting any undue attention. And finally, Salia. You also have a medium lifestyle?
Yes, I do.
Oh, good to hear. An Ares Crusader is a submachine gun, is it not?
It's a machine pistol.
Machine pistol. Could you just throw a threshold 2 etiquette check? Make sure you get downtown without any issues. Good to know. Having dealt with the various issues that follow you, operating as, professionals in a hostile world where you are criminals for hire, You make